Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns is considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in WWE, especially after his impressive run as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, which lasted 3.5 years, or 1,316 days. The OTC was carrying a big name ever since he moved to WWE, but he didn't move to the main roster right away. Instead, Reigns had promo classes with the late legend Dusty Rhodes, along with several other wrestlers. One of them was Paige, aka Saraya, who told Chris Van Vliet during a recent interview that she had to deal with an embarrassing moment during the promo classes, where she had to work on a promo with Roman Reigns. The promo classes were difficult, and you had to learn to adjust on the fly, which I am grateful for. Because I had that experience once I got on the main roster. But we would have promo classes where we would have to cut these promos, so Reigns, gets up and sits next to me. And then he was like, "Okay, Paige, baby, he's your ex-boyfriend. He dumped you and stole your toaster." I'm like, what do I say to this guy? I just met him as well. I've already been with WWE within 2 weeks or something. I was already cut these promos. Hello, stranger, I have to pretend you're my ex-boyfriend who stole my toaster. So I just start talking to him, and I'm so embarrassed, because he's a big, strong guy. He's Roman Reigns. He's like Hercules. And like, "I'm so sorry," Paige told Van Vliet. Segment from 016 to 116. Paige was one of the best female wrestlers in WWE during her run with the company, but injuries forced her to leave the company. She joined AEW, but left recently and could now come back to WWE after a 3-year absence. Roman Reigns is expected to return to WWE soon. The OTC has been off WWE TV since Raw after Mania on April 21, when Braun Breaker assaulted him before joining forces with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. It is unclear what plans WWE Creative has for Roman Reigns, but it is safe to say that he will be out for revenge against the Visionary and the Wiseman when he returns, with his comeback expected to take place in the coming weeks, either to work a match at SummerSlam or set the stage for a match at Clash in Paris. Rollins has already created a lot of enemies on Raw, including Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and CM Punk, so Roman Reigns could initially go after Breaker, seeking revenge for the latter's spear back in April. "I have to pretend you're my ex-boyfriend," female ex-WWE star details embarrassing moment with Roman Reigns. No matter how many times she's told the story backstage, Chelsea Monroe still winces every time Roman Reigns' name comes up. In the world of WWE, where larger-than-life characters clash under bright lights, the moments that truly live forever aren't always the ones caught by the cameras. Sometimes, they're hidden away in catering rooms, dusty hallways, and hastily written creative scripts that force two near strangers into situations no Hollywood writer could dream up. Chelsea, who wrestled under the name Celeste Storm during her short but fiery WWE run, never planned on sharing her Roman story with the world. But during a podcast appearance this week, the former diva finally cracked. "I swear, I still get red in the face just thinking about it," she laughed, her fingers twisting a loose strand of hair behind her ear. It was late 2015. Chelsea had been working house shows, getting a few minutes here and there on SmackDown, always waiting for that one push that might make her the next big thing. Her agent had told her she'd been penciled in for a backstage segment with Roman, big exposure, he promised. She hadn't even met him yet. All she knew was the same thing every young woman in that locker room knew: Roman Reigns was the guy. Handsome, confident, the Anoa'i bloodline flowing through his veins like wrestling royalty. He was nice, too, which somehow made it worse. When she got the call sheet that afternoon, she nearly spit out her protein shake. The script's header read, "Chelsea Monroe confronts Roman Reigns over their past relationship." The details were sparse, but the gist was clear. Chelsea had to storm up to Roman, yell about him ghosting her, slap him, gently, of course, and storm off. The kicker? They'd never spoken more than a polite hello at the coffee machine. I remember standing in Gorilla with the script in my hand, heart pounding like I was about to main event WrestleMania. Chelsea said on the podcast, giggling through her embarrassment. Roman walks over, all calm and perfect, and just goes, "So I guess we dated, huh?" She thought she'd die right there. They tried to rehearse it once in a dim hallway behind the stage. Chelsea stumbled over her lines. Roman, trying to help, leaned in and whispered, "Just pretend I'm your ex-boyfriend." That only made it worse. "Look at him," she said, exasperated. "Roman Reigns telling me to pretend he's my ex. As if that would make it easier." It was like pretending a Greek god used to text you goodnight. She forced herself through the run-through, stuttering out lines about never calling back and lying to my face. Roman kept a straight face, mostly, but every so often, he'd break character with a slight smirk. He could tell how nervous she was. She slapped him lightly on the chest during the practice take and immediately apologized. He just winked. "Sell it harder out there." The real segment aired halfway through that night's SmackDown. Looking back now, Chelsea says she remembers none of it. "It's all a blur. I just remember hearing the director count us in and my brain going, 'Don't trip. Don't stutter. Don't mess up Roman's hair.' She didn't trip. She didn't stutter. But she did mess up the slap. Instead of landing gently on his chest, she caught him on the neck, and Roman, ever the pro, turned it into a comedic recoil that got a bigger pop than anything she said. The segment ran for 90 seconds. It was never mentioned again. No follow-up, no storyline. WWE Creative quietly dropped the ex-girlfriend angle the next week. Fans forgot, but Chelsea never could. It was mortifying. Afterward, "I sat in catering and couldn't even look at him," she admitted. And then Roman walks by with his plate of chicken and just goes, "We good, ex?" and laughs. He made it so easy, but it still makes me cringe. Backstage, the moment became one of those hush-hush stories that new talent hear in whispered legend. Some said the segment was a test, a way for creative to see if Chelsea could handle live improv. Others claimed it was thrown together last minute because another storyline fell through. Chelsea never found out the truth. Within a few months, she was granted her release. WWE moved on. So did she. But years later, the story sticks. Maybe because it reminds people that behind the larger-than-life personas, the pyro, and the titles, WWE superstars are still people, sometimes forced to play awkward roles that have nothing to do with dropkicks or championship gold. Chelsea, now working as a stunt coordinator in Toronto, says she still runs into Roman at conventions once in a blue moon. "He's always so nice. The last time, he signed my nephew's t-shirt and said, 'Tell your aunt her ex says hi.' Like, really, Roman? Let me live." She laughs about it now, but she's the first to admit, in that moment, all those years ago, she wanted to crawl under the ring and never come out. Wrestling fans never saw the aftermath. They didn't see the red face, the sweaty palms, the mortified rookie hiding behind catering trays. They didn't see Roman's kindness, his teasing grin that put her at ease, or how he threw in a quiet good job before heading out for his actual match. "That's the thing about Roman," Chelsea said with a fond smile. "He's everything people say he is. Cool, professional, a total leader. And for about 90 seconds on live TV, he was my fake ex-boyfriend, too." It's the kind of embarrassing moment that stays with you forever, not because it was televised to millions, but because it showed her that even the scariest spotlight could feel a little warmer when you're standing next to someone who knows how to carry the weight. "I'll never forget that," Chelsea says, a little softer now. "When you're new, you're so scared of messing up. But Roman didn't make me feel like I did. He made it feel like a funny story we'd laugh about later. And here we are. In a business that's all about moments, it turns out the ones you remember best are the ones you can laugh about, even if they started with a line you never thought you'd have to say. I have to pretend you're my ex-boyfriend. And Roman Reigns? He's still the guy, for WWE, for the fans, and for at least one former superstar who will forever blush when someone brings up that awkward night on SmackDown.